Our next guest on Submission Radio is fighting Lyoto Machida at UFC Fight Night 58, Brazil, December 20th. Ladies and gentlemen, CB Dollaway is on Submission Radio. CB, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, we're doing really well. It's a pleasure to have you on. Now, first question, CB. We were looking over your Twitter feed recently, and we saw a fair few tweets in regards to driving and road rage and indicators. Our biggest question is, have people on the roads been annoying you recently? And if so, what are their names so that we can eliminate them from your life for a small fee?
No, actually, yeah, I had some guy, it was weird, some guy in front of me the other day just slows down to we're on a one-lane road, just slows down to 10 miles an hour, pulls off to where I can't quite get around him. I'm stopped. I'm like, what's he doing, whatever. And then when I go around him, flies up on my bumper and starts putting his bright lights on.
Oh, man.
It's like, oh, man, I wish it was legal to get out and take care of him. But, yeah, I don't know what the guy was trying to do, but it's like he's trying to start something with someone. And, obviously if I got out and did that, it would be me who, gets the short end of the stick from the law.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, there was extra energy in the sparring session that day. Now, obviously, you got a big fight coming up December 20th at UFC Fight Night against Lyoto Machida. What did you think when you first heard that you're fighting a guy like Machida next? What was your reaction to the call when you got the fight?
I was actually pretty excited. I've been wanting a main event fight, a big high-profile fight, and get in there and test myself against one of the best guys in the world. And as far as that goes, he's one of the, the best guys in the sport right now. He, is former world champion, defended his belt once at light heavyweight. So, to get in there, and he just fought for the world title, So this is the kind of guy I think, when I get a victory over him, it gives me an argument for a world title fight.
That's exactly right. You summed it up perfectly. I guess the big question is, CB, what do you think is your biggest weapon against Lyoto Machida?
Obviously, my wrestling. Obviously, we looked at, if you look at the Chris Weidman fight, it did give him a lot of trouble when Chris was able to take him down, get on top. Also, my boxing is getting pretty good. I've been spending a lot of time with my boxing coach, and, I feel confident, if I catch Lyoto with a punch, I can put him to sleep. My punching power is there in both hands, and, obviously he's not easy to hit, but, we've been working on a lot of things, a lot of good head movement to get out of the way and avoid his counter strikes and land some strikes of our own. And really the key is to be able to just mix everything up. Obviously I have a game plan, but I got to get out there and be a mixed martial artist. I got to have him thinking takedown, or am I going to punch? Am I going to kick? Am I going to try to submit him? Just wherever the fight goes, I've got to be a mixed martial artist and apply everything. I can't go out with a, one-track mind of, I'm just going to wrestle Lyoto, or I'm just going to stand up with him, because that's not going to work. He's too high level of a guy. So, I've really got to put everything together.
Absolutely, CB. He's a high-level guy, but you yourself, you've been in the UFC for such a long time, and you've been kicking ass for a really, really long time. Now, a lot of UFC fans are overlooking you going into with this fight. Not many are giving you a very high chance against Lyoto. What's your feeling being like about that? Is that something that fuels you in the training going into this fight?
Oh, yeah. That's been the story of my last 4 fights. The Tim Boetsch fight, no one gave me a shot. I think I got robbed, and so do a lot of other people. Obviously I lost a split decision, but whatever. And everyone said, I wouldn't last with him. Then fought, who did I fight? Cesar Ferreira after that. Everyone, I don't have a chance there. I knocked him out in 39 seconds. And then going into the Francis Carmont fight, he doesn't have a chance there. Carmont's, wrestle him, do all I was able to come out on top of that. So I've been the underdog in all my last fights, and I kind of like that role. And it does fuel me to go in there and, try to prove everyone wrong. And the way I see it, I have nothing to lose. I'm a guy going out with everything to gain. And, this is my shot.
Absolutely, and of course the fight's in Brazil. You are actually undefeated in Brazil. You've got a 2-0 record in there. I'm just curious, there's been some questionable decisions and stoppages in Brazil. How do you feel about fighting in Brazil in general? And have you ever been worried in the past about, any refereeing or judging going into a fight in Brazil?
I don't know. I mean, if you watched my Tim Boetsch fight that happened in the States, that was pretty much a highway robbery. And then in Brazil, I was able to get a decision victory over Daniel Sarafian in a very close fight, which I think was a closer fight than the Tim Boetsch fight. So no worries about going to Brazil. I believe they're fair and whatever, It's if you leave it in the hands of the judges, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get someone else's opinion. It may not be how you thought the fight went, but it doesn't matter. So, you really gives me that motivation to go out and try to finish the fight.
Your friend and Power MMA fitness training partner, Ryan Bader, he had a tough loss against Machida, where it seemed like Machida baited him into overcommitting. Did Ryan give you any advice for this fight against Lyoto? And have you guys been training together? Obviously, you probably have for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ryan's not a southpaw, but we've been doing some training. I've gotten some insight from him, and I believe we've both grown so much since then. I've been with a different trainer since then, and so has he for almost 3 years. We're just different fighters than we were when Ryan fought him. I feel like I have a much better understanding of the sport and the stand-up in particular. I have a better understanding of what Lyoto is trying to do and how to negate it. 3 years ago, this fight, it probably wouldn't have been a good fight for me. Where now, like I said, I just have a better understanding of what I'm trying to do, how I'm going to try to do it, and it makes me feel more comfortable about going into the fight.
And Lyoto has this style where he stays out of range and he circles and moves in and out, causing his opponents to often get frustrated and overcommit. How prepared are you if the fight begins to play out like that?
Very prepared. That's one of the things. It's a 5-round fight. I have all the time in the world, really. I've never been in a 5-round fight, but I know 3-round fights, you have plenty of time there. So in a 5-round fight, you need to be extra patient. If he's going to run like that, I've got to, take my own time. It may be a little boring in the early going, but, I've noticed in those fights, in the later rounds, he starts to stand in front of people more. He starts to slow down. He isn't as agile. So, you've got to be patient and know that your time will come when he will stand there and fight with you. The running will stop. So just don't get too committed in the early going, and eventually he'll be there to fight you.
Sorry to cut in, Dennis. That's an interesting analysis on it, CB. Without giving away your game plan, is it possible that you be looking for that late finish later in the rounds?
Yeah, I'll be looking for the finish early, late, whenever, if it presents itself. But, you gotta fight to how he's gonna fight. You've got to understand if he's gonna run, that's not the time to try to attack him. You've got to be patient and pick your spots and know that the time will come. But you never know. He may come after me early. I doubt it, but if he does, I'll be ready for that too. But he's got to be ready to adjust to whatever he's going to do and know what you're going to do to take care of whatever he offers.
Absolutely, CB. Now, you were at the Time Is Now press conference, sitting with a lot of the champions, a lot of the guys like Chris Weidman, the big names like Conor McGregor, and sitting next to guys like the guy that you're going to fight, Machida. Tell us what went through your mind, because if you do stop Machida like you're planning on doing, you will be propelled into that class of Chris Weidmans and, the upper echelon where fans will absolutely know you are the best. Did it cross your mind that, I'm that close to, being one of these, top guys sitting up here on the pedestal after all these years of fighting in the UFC?
Oh, of course, it's sitting in there, you start looking around the room, people you're sitting there with, and it's kind of a good feeling, all your hard work's finally paying off. Everything's starting to come together. I had, a tough time there, was dealing with injuries and whatnot. And, we kind of left our old gym, started our whole new gym, a whole new camp, and just, we had a lot of things going on. And now we're starting to see kind of some of the fruits of that labor come together. Everyone out of power is doing really good. We got, almost 25 professionals there, over 1,000 members at our gym.
Wow.
Guys are doing good. We got more guys they're right on the cusp of going into the UFC. We've built something really great. And, it just, in the process of doing that, there was a lot of hard work, some distractions and whatnot. And now everything's on the right track. We're in a good spot, and everyone's doing well. And, it just gives you a high level of confidence, knowing who you train with and seeing other guys being successful. So it's a really good feeling, and, I just want to continue it.
And CB, with a win over Lyoto Machida, where do you think that puts you? I think I've heard you say that you want a shot against Chris. I think the UFC say you might get Luke Rockhold. Where do you think it puts you in the division?
I think I deserve a title shot. It'd be, I keep coming back to the Tim Boetsch fight where a lot of people know I won that fight. So if that didn't happen with the split decision bull crap, this would be the third victory over a top 10 opponent. Some good finishes there and some good fights. People they're seeing I'm an exciting fighter. So yeah, I think people would like to see me get in there and mix it up with whoever comes out on top in February.
A big fight in the middle.
Earned it.
Oh, absolutely, CB. Another big fight in the middleweight division happened in Australia with Luke Rockhold fighting Michael Bisping. Just wondering, did you watch that fight, and what do you think of Luke Rockhold? Obviously, he's making a case for a title shot soon as well, so it'll be you against him, sort of going for that title shot. What do you think about Luke, and how do you think he matched up with a guy like that?
Well, I've trained with Luke. He's very tough, very skilled. And yeah, he's got a great case too, but yeah, if he did get the title shot, I'd be willing to wait and improve my own skills, and take the winner. I just feel that, my next fight, I want a title fight. I don't want a title eliminator. I don't want another main event. I want to go for that title. I'm not getting any younger. I'm 31 years old this year. Yeah, I've suffered injuries and stuff. I know that every fight you risk getting injured, so I don't want any more in-betweens. I want that title fight. I want to get this victory over Lyoto, and I want my next fight to be a title fight. I don't want to take one in between and blow an ACL out or something. I just know how hard it is to come back from injuries, and like I said, I'm not getting any younger. I've wrestled since I was 5 years old. My body, it's getting wore out, so I don't know how many more years I have in the sport, so if the opportunity is there, I know what I want.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and you're definitely making a good case for it. Let's say everything goes perfect according to plan. You get a big win over Lyoto, and you get that title shot against Chris Weidman. How do you see yourself stacking up against Chris?
Oh, it's pretty cut and dry. I know we're both great wrestlers, which usually negates the wrestling part. I know, he's very good on the ground. I'm pretty skilled myself, but I could see it turning into, a pretty good stand-up war and being an exciting fight for the fans. And, definitely feel like I could come out on top. Like I said, I would take that extra time to improve my skills. I know him and Vitor have a fight in February. And if someone else got the next shot before me, like I said, I'd be willing to wait and improve my skills and just kind of dial everything in. I've been pretty busy as of lately, so a nice little break is always welcome. And yeah, I think I could put on an exciting fight for the fans and just be good for everybody.
Exactly, just what the doctor ordered. Now, Lyoto is a very respectful guy, but in his own respectful way, he basically, has said a number of times that he believes he'll finish you within the 5 rounds. Do you think that he might be overlooking you a little bit going into this fight?
I don't know. I don't really care, what his mindset is. I know what mine is. And I know too, and I believe I can. So, I understand what he's saying. He's a champion himself. He's very confident in himself, and if he didn't think that, I'd almost wonder what was wrong with him. So, if he's not thinking, that way, then probably shouldn't be getting in there. Like I said, I believe I can finish him, and I'll definitely be trying, and I know he'll be doing the same, and it'll make for a great fight for the fans.
Now, CB, speaking of confidence, you've always been a confident guy and a confident fighter in the octagon, but it seems like you've been a bit more outspoken lately. Are we going to see a sort of more talking from you if you do win this fight? Are you looking to speak out a bit more? Because you've always been a bit more, a bit more reserved after your victories. Are we going to see you, taking the mic and sort of cutting a bit of a promo if you do win this one?
Yeah, I mean, that's just something I've learned you have to be, closed mouths don't get fed, as the saying goes. And that's just part of the job, coming up in the sport. I didn't realize, that is a part of it. Just fighting is one part, and you've got to learn to promote yourself. You've got to brand yourself. There's a lot more to fighting than just fighting, and that's something I'm learning, and, I'm just growing as, I'm kind of coming into my own, and it's just, something you got to do. It's another part of the job. I've not really been one to want to be real outspoken, but if that's what it takes, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, sure. Now, CB, we're going to do something fun with you. It's called the Submission Radio Tap Out Round, where we ask you a bunch of fun questions and you rattle them off. You tell us the first thing that comes to your mind. Just before we do that and sort of wrap it up, I just wanted to get your thoughts on these new uniforms that have come out. What do you know so far? What are your initial thoughts and reactions?
I'm pretty excited, knowing that we're going to have a sponsor. It's like a giant corporate sponsor like Reebok. I think it's going to be really good for the sport. Outside of that, I don't really know the full details on it, how it's going to trickle down to the fighters and whatnot. I think it's going in the right direction, though. If there can be more big sponsors like that coming into the sport, it is going to mean more money for the fighters. I just don't know how long until that happens. Till numbers are announced, no one's going to know. So I don't want to make any prejudgments. I've always been happy with my manager and what he's done for me, and I hope, the uniforms and all that, I hope it still stacks up to what I've gotten in the past. I hope it doesn't take money out of me and my family's pockets. And, until the numbers come out, no one can really say one way or the other.
Absolutely. Now, we'll jump to the tap out round. First question that we're going to rattle off for you, CB, is do you still keep in touch with any of your Ultimate Fighter 7 castmates?
Not really. I see them here and there. Like I was just on a tour with Matt Brown, and we did the USO, or not the USO tour, but the Armed Forces Entertainment tour, where we went all through Iraq and Afghanistan. And he was on the tour, so it was good to see him, but as far as on a day-to-day level, I don't really keep in touch with anyone.
Now, CB, we haven't seen you added as a DLC to EA Sports UFC just yet. Can we expect that to happen anytime soon?
I have no idea. That's not. I don't have any control over that.
We want
EA Sports would like to add me. I know a lot of people would like to prove me a necktie.
Yeah.
Be part of the game. So hopefully they throw me in there one of these days. I don't know what I got to do.
Come on, EA. Let's do it. Now, CB, finish this sentence. People don't know that I'm
an awesome chess player.
Yeah.
Wow, always a few moves ahead, CB. Now, tell us about the enjoyable experience you had with Ryan Bader when you guys got stuck on a plane over to Australia that one time.
Oh, well, it wasn't a very awesome experience. We got on the plane. There was a gentleman to I believe our left, who been traveling for quite some time, almost 20 some hours or something, and we could definitely smell him for about the next 12 hours to Australia. He had some kicking BO.
Jesus.
But luckily for me, it was just out of smell for me, but Ryan was right in it.
It's like in Wedding Crashers when it's like we lost a lot of good men. Ryan was one of those men on that plane trip.
Yeah, well, it's like vegetable lasagna in Seinfeld when you try and keep getting out and going to the toilet.
Now we've got another question for the tap out round. This one is from one of the fans. His name is Hans Gerkmiov or Jerkmiov. I think he's Russian. His question is why haven't you ever considered changing your name from the Doberman to Dollar Bills?
Dollar Bills. Guess because I got to start making those big money, getting those big money fights. Got to become champion, and maybe I'll be able to do that.
That's it.
Okay, well, we're going to take your word for it. Now, tell us this, CB. When you're not training, you obviously mentioned you're a very busy guy. What do you do to take your mind off fighting apart from playing chess?
A lot of times you can find me out in the deserts of Arizona, off-roading. I own a Ford Raptor truck. It's kind of my hobby, off-roading. I'll pack up some guns, camping supplies, go out, screw around shooting guns. I have off-road toys, razors and stuff like that, and go out and ride those and just kind of hang out, be outdoors. So another thing I like doing, pheasant hunting. I'll go up to South Dakota, do pheasant hunting up there, shoot sporting clays. So just kind of anything outdoors and kind of get away from technology a little bit, get off the phone, get off the computers, and just go and actually live life.
Yeah, I've never done like any off-roading or anything like that, but I'm super jealous of people that do get to do that because it looks awesome. Now,
if you're ever here in Arizona, man, look me up. I'll take you.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be sick. Now, prediction time, CB. Anderson Silva versus Nick Diaz. Who do you think's going over in that one?
I don't know. I don't know. I think Nick is the underdog in that one, and like I said, I like being the underdog and always root for the underdog, so I'm going to go with Nick Diaz.
Now, this one has a lot to do with you. Weidman and Belfort are going to fight. Who do you think is going to walk out on top of that? Because you might very well be challenging the winner of that for the title.
I can see Chris coming out on top of it. I feel like Chris is the more well-rounded fighter. Vitor, is obviously devastating with his striking. But I just feel like Chris is the more well-rounded, and the longer the fight goes, the more it's going to play into Chris's game. Chris, his conditioning is great. So, I think that's where Vitor's kind of struggled in the past is with his conditioning a little bit. So if Chris, can get out of the first couple of rounds, get some takedowns, wear him down, I think, that fight goes Chris's way.
And finally, the most important prediction of all, CB, what's the official prediction? How are you beating Lyoto Machida at Fight Night 58 Brazil on, I believe it's December 20th?
Well, hopefully with a first round knockout. Go out there and take care of business early.
Absolutely. I think that'd be awesome, and that would definitely silence a lot of the Brazilian fans in that arena. Can't wait to watch, guys. December 20th, Ultimate Fight Night Brazil, Ultimate Fight Night 58 Brazil, CB Dollaway versus Lyoto Machida, and of course, don't forget to check out CB on Twitter at CB Dollaway. CB, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Hopefully we'll be talking to you soon.
Absolutely.